I asked the people of Twitter to give me their hot takes for Stranger Things 5. So today I'm going to go through every single hot take that was commented on my tweet. And I'm going to give you my honest opinions and my honest thoughts about these hot takes. If you guys want to participate in another challenge like this or another video like this, I guess, go follow my Twitter, RelayTS on Twitter. Hoping to do more of those. And yeah, make sure to like and subscribe, turn on notifications, join my Discord. And without further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, the first hot take prediction comes from Joseph, and he says, I think Murray Bauman dies. He sacrifices himself while in the military, which I think is pretty interesting because this guy is not only saying Murray Bauman's gonna die, which, by the way, I agree with. I'll get into that. But he's saying he's gonna die while he's in the military and he's gonna sacrifice himself. That's pretty interesting. You're saying Murray's gonna be in the military and then sacrifice himself for one of the people. So overall, I do agree with this. Not with the military part. I don't feel like Murray's going to be in the military. But I do think Murray's going to die. Just because I don't think any of the main characters are going to die. He's an easy kill-off. You know, he's not connected with anyone. He doesn't have a wife or anyone attached to him. He doesn't have any family. He's just sort of on his own. He's that comedic character that everyone loves. And I feel like he's just an easy character to just put to the side and forget about, you know, and he can have a fun comedic, sacrifice death that could still have a decent impact on the show and pull at people's heartstrings, which I think is very important when it comes to killing people in Stranger Things Season 5. So, yes, I do agree. Murray Bauman is going to die, in my opinion, and he's going to sacrifice himself. I just don't think he's going to be in the military while doing both of those things. The next hot take comes from Waterfalls Enthusiast, and they say, not my far-fetched prediction. They capitalize, not my far-fetched prediction. But it's a really popular one with a certain sub-fandom. I think we all know where this is going. Mike dumps Elle after 4 seasons of build-up in a life-saving love declaration, which was actually a lie, and gets with Will. I'm sorry. I don't think this is going to happen at all. I feel like, I'm not even going to say that, but I feel like at this point we kind of all assume, besides this person and that sub fandom, that, Mike and Eleven are going to end up together and, live happily ever after. I feel like that's like the general consensus around everyone in the community besides that sub fandom, which is all good. That's the whole point of TV shows. We want to have fandoms, sub-fandoms, certain groups that believe in this, certain groups that believe in this, the shipping, all that stuff. Like that's the whole fun of it. You know what I'm saying? So I like, brainstorming every possibility. I personally just don't think this is going to happen. And yeah, I'm not surprised to see that here, if you couldn't tell. Like, not at all. I totally expected that to happen. Josh says, I reckon Joyce will kill Vecna. She would do anything for Will. And now she's also Eleven's mother. And it'll end with Elle and Will doing most of the work, and Joyce just finishes them off with Hopper. It started with them 4, and it will end with them 4. A hot take for sure. I would say that's definitely a hot take. That fits the prediction, the title or whatever. Joyce killing Vecna would be crazy. That would be absolutely crazy. I know you're like sort of alluding that it would be like all of them, but you started the sentence with Joyce will kill Vecna, which I don't think is going to happen. I like the creativity. I like where your head's at. Like, Joyce being the hero and all that. I think that'd be really freaking cool. But at this point, I think we can all agree that Eleven and Will are going to be ones killing Vecna. I don't know if it's going to be one of them or both of them or they work together. I don't really know, but one of those two are killing Vecna. I feel like it has to be that way. Now that we've gotten to this point, I think we can all agree on that. Maybe obviously we don't all agree on that, but I think Eleven and Will are going to be the ones killing Vecna, but that's a pretty cool prediction. This is a very interesting one. Clay says, I think that maybe Vecna won't be the highest up, meaning like the biggest villain, and he's actually cursed, which Eleven, in the end, sacrifices herself to break that curse to make Vecna normal again, I'm assuming is what you're saying. That is very interesting. I really haven't thought about that or even brainstormed that. That's very interesting. I haven't even made that a theory, I don't think. I think I've made a theory on like Vecna turning to be the good guy and then sacrificing himself for Eleven, but I haven't heard the other way around where Eleven sacrifices herself to get Vecna out of that curse and I guess be a regular human again. Like I haven't heard that. That's definitely not happening, but that's very interesting. That's a very interesting theory. Heck, I might even do some research on that and try to make a theory out of that and make it somewhat exciting to lead up to Stranger Things 5. I mean, I know it's not going to happen, but, most probably not going to happen. 90% chance. But it is really cool. I like that theory a lot. Henry says, we will see flashbacks of Vecna controlling the Demogorgon in season 1. Now, this would be freaking awesome. And I think it'd be even cooler if we got flashbacks of Vecna being that first Demogorgon that like stands in the road in the dark or whatever with the fog or whatever, and he's like tall and he sort of looks like a skinny formed version of Vecna, like a younger version of Vecna. I hope we get the flashbacks back to that point and it shows that that was Vecna. Because like he opened the door with his mind and everything, and Demogorgons can't do that, blah, 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 blah. I think that would be really cool. That's a really good prediction. Okay, Tika says, Vecna has been building his undead army all along, has been using people as spies / puppets. Will, Callie, Eddie, and Miss Kelly. Oh, I think they meant to say you can imagine Vecna talking to Elle through Callie. Same words and mannerisms. Oh, they're saying there was a Cass medical chair boombox at Callie's hideout. I guess hinting at Callie being Cass. Wow. I'm under the assumption that Callie's going to return as a hero and as a helper of 11 and sort of like a redemption arc that people didn't really like how that her character was, how she tried to turn 11 bad and all this. But that kind of makes sense because she did have that sort of vibe to her that she was like this rebel villain. She literally robbed gas stations and killed people. Like she was just sort of like she was sort of a bad person. So that's what you're saying. Like maybe she's Vecna's right-hand man that was talking through Elle to try and make her evil, and she failed. And now she's going to come back and finally obey Vecna's original orders. That would be freaking insane. That would be absolutely unbelievable. What a plot twist that would be. Callie is actually on Vecna's side and everything, and they've been planning this all along, and she's a part of the undead army. That would be awesome. Wow. I have not thought about that. You guys are coming up with some crazy shit here that I haven't heard of. This is awesome. Chris says, once they kill Vecna, all the people he's killed will be resurrected, and we will see the return of Eddie, Barb, Bob, etc. I would love this. I don't care if it takes away the whole point of the entire deaths throughout the show. Actually, I do care a little bit, but it'd still be pretty cool. It would still be pretty cool if this happened. Obviously, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think all those actors are returning. But I would love to see like flashbacks. Obviously, we're going to get flashbacks of Eddie, I would assume. But I would love to see flashbacks of like, Sean Astin returning as Bob Newby, getting some different flashbacks. I think that'd be pretty cool. Having Sean Astin back in season 5. I mean, he hasn't been in since, I guess, I don't know, in season 3, did they have any flashbacks? I don't know. But either way, I think that'd be really cool if Sean Astin returned. So I like that idea. I would care a little bit that all of them come back to life, like actually are alive. I would care a little bit because there needs to be some deaths and some stakes on the line, like I mentioned before. But I do like the idea. Inzamul says, Stranger Things Season 5 Volume 2 will be released on November 6th just because it's the starting date of the Upside Down. Last episode name is Right Side Up. No, I don't think it will be. I think the November 27th is like maybe not the exact release date, but I think they're hinting at it like, hey guys, it's not going to be November 6th. It's going to be a little bit later on. Maybe it's in December. It's going to be late November. And they sort of did this with Wednesday Season 1. I remember Wednesday Season 1 releasing around Thanksgiving time, which is around November 27th. So I feel like that's sort of like a standard release date for them, like around that, in that week. I feel like that's a Netflix release date. So I really do think it's going to be late November, but hey, you never know. Felipe says, I have a feeling Steve will sacrifice himself to save someone. Maybe Nancy, maybe Dustin. I don't think Steve is going to die, to be honest with you. I think at this point, the Duffers have come to terms with him being one of the favorites, and they're just going to embrace that and just make him unkillable. But if he did die, he would definitely sacrifice himself for one of those two characters. No doubt about it. It would actually be a pretty cool twist for him to sacrifice himself for like 11. Because he hasn't really had that sort of dynamic with 11, but anyways, that sort of just popped up in my mind. But yeah, I think if Steve dies, it's 100% going to be an insane sacrifice. I just don't see him actually dying. Harrison says Max's soul is in the Upside Down and they have to free her from Vecna's mind layer. So when Vecna tries to take Will takes Max and escapes Vecna with her. Interesting. Okay, so you're saying that Will is going to save Max essentially because Max's soul is in the Upside Down. That would be pretty interesting. Max and Will having some scenes together, like in Vecna's mind layer or whatever, or in the Upside Down. That would be freaking insane. That's an interesting prediction. All right, the next one is P1. I don't know how to say your name. I think we will get Will's dragon versus Vecna's mind flayer giant battle in Hawkins behind the lab as 11 and Vecna fight on the ground. This would go crazy. I am so hoping for a fight like that with like the three-headed dragon or whatever, and Vecna and the mind flayer, and maybe Vecna's undead army, and then 11 in her army or whatever. And it's just like this giant battle. And then all of a sudden we hear, it's the final countdown. And it's just blaring music. And it's just this epic CGI battle with like a freaking three-headed dragon, Vecna, the Mind Flayer, the Undead Army, Callie, 11, all this freaking commotion going on. And the final countdown's playing in the background. That would be epic. Mr. Madridsta says all the in-game ships will be the same as the end of season 4. I agree. I honestly agree at this point. I think it's going to be Jonathan and Nancy, 11 and Mike, Joyce and Hopper. What else? Oh yeah, Lucas and Max. I think it's going to be the same ships we've seen. I don't think they're changing anything this late in the game. I'm sorry, Byler fans. I don't think it's happening. But it is, it's always fun to talk about that stuff, especially like, when you get in Twitter threads that last like 2 hours worth of scrolling. That's always interesting to read. But yeah, I do think all the relationships we saw in season 4 are going to be the end relationships at the end of season 5. Maybe some of them die, so there's no relationship. But either way, I think everyone who loved each other in season 4 is going to love each other in season 5. Top Cards News says, what if they put a chip back into Vecna's neck like it was at the lab and it stops him from using his powers on them? I don't see that happening because where would they get that chip from? I mean, I guess maybe they could create it and they like trap him down with like 11 and Callie's powers and they just put it back in his neck. What if they did that and he like turned back human? No way that'd be possible, obviously, but yeah, I don't think that's possible. I really don't. But, interesting prediction. The next one is Too Lit For You says, I think Vecna tries to take the kids and takes them to Wonderland like he did Holly. And that's why the new kid Derek and Eric are hiding in the farm. I also think Murray will die, Karen will die, Ted will die, protecting Holly, I guess. And either Will or 11, definitely one will die. That was a lot to take in there. So you think Vecna is going to try to take the kids to Wonderland like he did Holly, and that's why there's a new kid Derek and Erica are hiding in the farm, and then you think Murray, Karen, Ted will all die, and 11 or Will? I don't think 11 or Will are dying. No way. I do think Murray and Karen dying is a real possibility. Ted dying, I doubt it, honestly. I doubt it. Erica dying, I mean, you didn't say that, but I think that's a sneaky possibility. I really do. I think it's a sneaky possibility, but also like killing off Murray and killing off Erica, like two comedic characters, doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. I don't know. I think you made some good predictions in there, but I don't think all of them are coming true. No way. Addie says Mind Flayer betrays Vecna at the very end, and Vecna teams up with 11 while Vecna dies saving everyone, hence the leak, I'm going to save all your friends, every last one of them. I made a theory of it. I've made a theory on that before, saying like Vecna's going to turn good and sacrifice himself for 11 and this, that, and the other. Maybe the Mind Flayer, maybe Vecna's like the Mind Flayer's puppet. That's a possibility. Do I think it's likely? No. I don't think so. I honestly hope that happens, though, because that would at least be some sort of a big plot twist, and Vecna like turns good and sacrifices himself for everyone. But I don't see it happening, unfortunately. Owen says Murray, Jonathan, and Elle will die. 11's death will happen in a final battle with Vecna, where Elle realizes she has to die in order to save everyone else. Jonathan will save Will from Vecna, but will pay the price and die a brutal death, and Murray will most likely die at the end of Volume 1. See, everyone thinks Murray's going to die. I totally agree. I think Murray's going to die as well. Jonathan dying... I have a hard time believing that. I have a hard time believing it. And 11's not dying. No way. I think 11's untouchable. I think she's not dying. I don't think she's dying. I really don't. There's no way, right? I don't think 11's dying. And I don't think Jonathan's dying. But Murray dying, yeah. Jonathan dying a brutal death to save Will, that would be cool. I would like that, to be honest with you. I just don't think it's happening. But it's a, it's a cool thought. Let me know what you guys think about all these hot takes and what you think about my opinions on these hot take predictions down below in the comments. And if you guys have any other video suggestions that you want me to see, before Stranger Things 5 comes in 9 months, let me know in the comments below. And most importantly, have a great rest of your day, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace out.